And also the super seniors who are present here, please come on to the front side of the stage. Super seniors and ladies, please come to the front rows. Ladies, please occupy your seats in the front. Ladies, please occupy your seats on the front which are reserved for you. നമ്മുടെ കോൺഫറൻസ് തുടങ്ങുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് 1-2 അനൗൺസ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. ഒന്ന്, പാർക്കിംഗ് ഓഫ് ദ വെഹിക്കിൾസ്. നമ്മുടെ FBOA റോഡിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും കാറ് പാർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പ്ലീസ് റിമൂവ്. അതിവിടെ അടുത്ത് തന്നെ പെയ്ഡ് പാർക്കിംഗ് ഉണ്ട്, മെട്രോ പാർക്കിംഗും അവൈലബിൾ ആണ്. സിൻസ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് സൺഡേ, മോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദ ഷോപ്സ് വിൽ ബി ക്ലോസ്ഡ് and you can park your vehicles there. Please remove your vehicles from FBOA road. അടുത്തത്, please do not use your link. നമ്മുടെ ഓൺലൈൻ മോഡിന് ലിങ്ക് അയച്ചു തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് ഇവിടെ യാതൊരു കാരണവശാലും ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യാൻ പാടില്ല. ഈ ഹാളിനകത്ത് ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ പ്രോഗ്രാം വിൽ ബി സ്കട്ടിൽഡ്. സോ പ്ലീസ് ഡു നോട്ട് ഓപ്പൺ യുവർ ലിങ്ക് ഇൻസൈഡ് ദ ഹാൾ. രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യാൻ ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പ്ലീസ് ഗോ ആൻഡ് അറ്റ് ദ രജിസ്ട്രേഷൻ കൗണ്ടർ ആൻഡ് ഡു ദ രജിസ്ട്രേഷൻ ഫസ്റ്റ്. Program will start exactly at 10 a.m. അങ്ങോട്ട് കേൾക്കില്ല. പുറത്ത് നിൽക്കുന്നവർ ദയവായി ഹാളിനകത്തേക്ക് കയറിയിരിക്കുവാൻ താല്പര്യപ്പെടുന്നു. രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യാനുള്ളവർ രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യുക പ്ലീസ്. ആരെങ്കിലും നമ്മുടെ വെഹിക്കിൾസ് FBOA റോഡിൽ പാർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പ്ലീസ് റിമൂവ്. യാതൊരു കാരണവശാലും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അയച്ചു തന്നിരിക്കുന്ന ലിങ്ക് ഇവിടെ ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യരുത് പ്ലീസ്. Hello, everyone. Please, a very warm good morning to one and all. We welcome each and every one of you to the 29th AGM and National Conference of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum, FBROF. We are obliged to conduct AGM statutorily every year. Since the members of our organization are spread across the country, online meeting will facilitate their convenient participation. Moreover, the cost involved can also be reduced to a great extent. Hence, we have decided to conduct the conference on a hybrid mode. Our organization has grown in strength year after year with nearly 2,600 members as of now, including the family pensioners.
Before we commence the conference, let me invite the following dignitaries to the dais. Firstly, I formally invite Sri Thomachan K.T., National President of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum, FBROF, and the National Assistant General Secretary of All India Bank Pensioners and Retirees Confederation, IPAC, to the dais as he is to preside over today's meeting. I now invite Sri Paul Mundadan, General Secretary of FBROF and Senior Vice President of IPAC, onto the dais. I now invite the President of IPAC, Kerala State Unit, Sri Tom Thomas, onto the dais. May I now invite the General Secretary of FBOA, Sri Shrimit PR, onto the dais. Finally, I invite Sri Bhasi PK, the General Convener of this conference, onto the dais.
Friends, all that begins well ends well. So for a graceful beginning, let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty with a prayer. I invite Ms. Archa Vijay, Office of our North Parur branch and daughter of Sri Vijayan, a member of FBROF, for the prayer. I request all of you to kindly rise for the prayer.
Sarveshwara Tavaka Savidhe Anjali Bhatha Pranamam. Sarveshwara Tavaka Savidhe Anjali Bhatha Pranamam. Jnanaya Bodhaya Sneha Samshuddhaya Jnanaya Bodhaya Sneha Samshuddhaya Shandaya Koti Pranamam. Sarveshwara Tavaka Savidhe Anjali Bhatha Pranamam. Sarvacharachara Manasi Virajita Sarvacharachara Manasi Virajita Jagadesha Koti Pranamam. Sarveshwara Tavaka Savidhe Anjali Bhatha Pranamam. Sarveshwara Tavaka Savidhe Anjali Bhatha Pranamam.
Thank you, Archa. Thank you all. Please be seated.
Let me first of all invite Sri Paul Mundadan, General Secretary, FBROF and Senior Vice President of IPAC, for the welcome address.
A very warm good morning to one and all. Respected President of this meeting, Sri Thomachan K.T., National President of FBROF, Chief Guest of the Day, Sri Shyam Srinivasan, MD and CEO of Federal Bank Limited, Comrade K.V. Acharya, National President of IPARC, Keynote Speaker, Comrade Suprida Sarkar, National General Secretary of IPARC, Comrade P.R. Shimith, General Secretary FBOA and Senior Vice President of AIBOC, Sri Tom Thomas, President IPARC Kerala State, Sri Raju George, Ernakulam Zonal Secretary and Chairman of the Organizing Committee of this conference, Sri Bhasi P.K., General Convener of the Organizing Committee, State and District Leaders of IPARC, revered octogenarians who are being honored today, office bearers, executive committee members, zonal and area secretaries, helpdesk conveners, and all other esteemed members of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum and my dear friends. I am extremely happy to extend a warm and hearty welcome to one and all to the inaugural function of the 29th National Conference of the Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum, being held today in hybrid mode, both online and physical, at P.V. Matthew Memorial Hall, FBOA Center, ALUVA. On this occasion, I bow my head in respectful memory of the three legendary personalities who left us to their heavenly abode, namely late K.P. Hermes, the visionary founder of Federal Bank, late P.V. Matthew, the unequaled leader and the former president of FBROF and the former general secretary of FBOA, and late S.R. Sengupta, the doyen of bank trade union movements and the founder general secretary of our apex body IPARC, and the founder president and the general secretary of AIBOC. Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum was formed in 1994 with a handful of retired officers under the initiative of late P.V. Matthew, then General Secretary of Federal Bank Officers Association, as a common platform for retired officers, all of whom were former members of FBOA, for periodical get-together and sharing. Now we have grown 2,536 strong and 22 areas and 10 zones spread all over the country. It's a proud moment for all our members who have assembled here and the large number of our members attending this 29th National Conference online from various parts of the country. As you know, this national conference assumes great significance as it is being held at a time when the bank retirees are fighting for their just demands, such as updation of pension, extension of ex gratia payment to retirees of private sector banks, which was already granted to retirees of public sector banks as per 12th bipartite settlement, reckoning of special allowance and dearness allowance for the computation of terminal benefits, pension option for resignees and those who were left out earlier, reforms in pension rules, negotiation status to retirees organization, etc. Having said this as a brief prelude, let me go to my assigned duty of welcoming all of you. Today we are indeed privileged to have the eminent and gracious online presence of Sri Shyam Srinivasan, MD and CEO of the Federal Bank Limited, as the chief guest to inaugurate our 29th National Conference, which is being held in hybrid mode. He has been leading our bank for the past 14 years, taking it to amazing heights of growth and glory. Ever since he took charge as the MD and CEO of the bank, he has been keen on providing Federals with better working conditions in the industry. We especially owe much to him for his assured paternal care and support to retirees of the bank and their genuine issues. We are grateful to the bank and Shyam sir for hand-holding Federals, both the serving and the retired alike, all these years, recognizing the fact that Federals are the true foundation of the federal edifice and also its true ambassadors. He has gracefully approved many of the requests of FBROF to better our welfare with commendable initiatives. FedCare, a medical insurance initiative launched in 2012, providing 70% premium support for the base policy of our health insurance, reflects the bank's dedication to us. Death relief of rupees 20,000, personal loan of rupees 3 lakhs to retirees at a consideration rate of 9.90% for a loan period of 3 years, ID card to retirees, pension book to retirees, retiree handbook, digital service memoir, retirees space in bank's website providing required services, grant of eligibility of the spouse of the deceased retiree for the additional interest of 1% on their deposits, informatory messages to the pensioners by retirees on credit of their pension with details of total pension, TDS deducted if any, and the net amount credited, allowing the designate to receive pension in the joint account of the retiree and his or her spouse, etc. are few of them. When I invited him to our national conference, he readily accepted it without any hesitation. Sir, We are extremely happy and thankful to you that you have taken time from your busy schedule to attend this function online to inaugurate our conference. We deem your online presence as a great honor. On behalf of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum, I extend our most hearty, cordial and warm welcome to Sri Shyam Srinivasan, the MD and CEO of the Federal Bank Limited. Our guest of honor today is Comrade K.V. Acharya, the inspiring National President of IPARC and the Joint Convener of CBPRO, who is present online to address and enlighten us on the various issues and challenges faced by the bank retirees of the country. We are also fortunate to have the vibrant online presence of the National General Secretary of IPARC, Comrade Suprida Sarkar, as today's keynote speaker. These two doyens of bank retirees movement in the country have been fighting for the cause of retirees with unmatched dedication and commitment for decades, which has yielded glaring benefits to the retirees. On behalf of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum and all of us attending this conference physically and online, let me extend a very hearty welcome to our great national leaders, Comrade K.V. Acharya and Comrade Suprida Sarkar, to the inaugural session of the 29th National Conference of the FBOA being held at P.V. Matthew Memorial Hall, FBOA Center, ALUVA. Comrade Shimit PR is the General Secretary of the Federal Bank Officers Association, our parent organization. We are happy that he has been elevated as the National Senior Vice President of IBOC in his triennial conference held recently at Guwahati. He is the General Secretary of FBOA Educational Society, which manages FISAD, the prestigious and one of the top-rated engineering colleges in the state of Kerala, and also serving as the chairman of the FISAD Governing Council. He is also an ex officio member of the executive committee of our forum. Apart from ensuring all organizational support, he is also keen on making efforts for the redressal of our issues and grievances at various levels. On behalf of FBROF and on behalf of the august gathering present physically and online in the national conference, I extend a very warm welcome to Comrade Shimit PR, who is with us on this stage. Sri Tom Thomas is one among us. He was the former president of FBOA, the immediate past president of FBROF, the immediate past national senior vice president of IPARC, and presently he is our executive committee member. He is also the president of the most vibrant Kerala state unit of IPARC. His matured and inspiring leadership has always been a boon to our forum. I extend a very hearty welcome to Sri Tom Thomas to this inaugural session. It is a pleasure to inform you that 18 of our members, 8 retired officers and 10 family pensioners have become super seniors, crossing 80 years of their wonderful life, having made significant contributions for the growth and development of our beloved bank, as well as for fostering the federal fraternity. We are honoring 5 of the octogenarians who are physically present in the meeting venue today. Others will be honored in their respective area meetings later. I take this opportunity to warmly welcome all our dear octogenarians who are present physically and online to this national conference. Sri Thomachan Ketty, the Honorable National President of FPRO, is presiding over this function. He was a former office bearer of FBOA, and presently he is also the National Assistant General Secretary of IPARC and the State Organizing Secretary of IPARC Kerala. His excellent leadership and dedicated service to our forum for the past 6 years have given it an impressive growth and amazing forward momentum. As part of the formality of this function, I extend a very cordial welcome to Sri Thomachan Ketty, our President. That's fine. It is a recognition and honor to the better half also. I also welcome Sri Bhasi PK, the General Convener of the Organizing Committee. I also welcome Sri Raju Jor, Chairman and other members of the Organizing Committee to this conference. We are fortunate to have the physical and online presence of several dignitaries, leaders from IPARC and other fraternal organizations, friends from the print and visual media to be part of this inaugural function. I thankfully acknowledge and express our sincere admiration for their physical or online presence and welcome all of them on behalf of the organizing committee of 29th National Conference of the Forum and also on my personal behalf. Hundreds of members are attending this national conference physically as well as online from various parts of the country to hear the esteemed speakers and to deliberate particularly on the issues confronting bank retirees. On behalf of FBROF and the organizing committee of the conference, I extend a warm welcome to all of you, my dear members. Once again extending a very warm and cordial welcome to each and every one of you attending this 29th National Conference of FBROF. I remain thanking you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Next is the presidential address. I request Sri Thomachan KT, President of FBROF and Assistant General Secretary of All India Bank Pensioners and Retirees Confederation, IPAR, to deliver the presidential address.
A warm good morning to all of you. Chief guest of today's function, Sri Shyam Srinivasan, MD and CEO for Beloved Bank, who will inaugurate this conference online, Comrade KV Acharya, National President of IPARC, and Comrade Suprada Sarkar, National General Secretary of IPARC, who are addressing this conference online, Comrade PR Shimit, General Secretary of Federal Bank Officers Association, Comrade Tom Thomas, Kerala State President of IPARC, and senior leader, former President of our forum, who has contributed heavily for the growth of our beloved organization, Comrade Paul Mundadan, General Secretary, vibrant and dynamic General Secretary of FBROF and National Senior Vice President of IPARC, Comrade PK Basi, General Convener of the Organizing Committee of this conference, State and District Leaders of IPARC, Super Senior Members, and members of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum who are attending this conference online and offline, other well-wishers of the forum, and my dear friends. I deem it as a great privilege and pleasure to have the honor of delivering presidential address in the historic 29th AGM of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum. I do refer this 29th AGM as historic as we are entering the threshold of the 30th year of complete 3 decades of the proud existence of FBROF. Let us share between us the joy and pride of being one of the oldest organizations of retired officers and the unique historic stature of being the first of its kind among the private sector banks in the country as a whole. On behalf of all the members of this forum, I bow my head before the golden memories of late KP Hormis, the unforgettable founder of Federal Bank. I do, with reverence, remember the founder president, late K.M. Abraham, General Secretary, late George Samuel, and Treasurer, late C.O. Thomas, along with all other adorable founder fathers of this 30-year-old Federals Retirees Forum. We are all greatly indebted to FBOA for founding this mighty organization during the last decade of the last century, thanks to the visionary views of our all-time leader, late P.V. Matthew, and then General Secretary of FBOA, and the organizational enthusiasm of Sri T.S. Jagdishan, the then President of FBOA, who is also a member of our forum. I remember with deep nostalgia and high level of satisfaction that I was designed by destiny to be a part of the formation of the forum in the capacity as the Deputy General Secretary of FBOA in the year 1994. On this proud occasion, I extend a big salute to each and every past and present leaders and members of FBROF for enviably building up this organization day by day, brick by brick, through challenges and victorious during these 3 decades. Friends, when we hold this conference, we are amidst many odds against us, like the ongoing struggle for pension updation, the absence of an affordable medical health insurance cover, the high-handed philosophy of snatching away of thousands of rupees every month from the pension eligibility of bank retirees in the pretext of a special allowance imposed brutally from November 2012 onwards. So the so-called pension scheme, which in all practical terms deteriorated into a no pension scheme, ignoring the feelings and heartburns of the retirees by the absenteeism of any dialogue mechanism to air the views of the retirees in the matters affecting retirees community. The befuddling arithmetics of pension computation, denying full pension for multiple years, even at the fag end of the life, and so on and so forth. This kind of a situation is nothing but severe humiliation to the senior and super senior citizens of the Indian banking sector. And of late, unfortunately, a new chapter of highly objectionable discrimination against the retirees belonging to the private sector banks is being evolved by IBA and UFBU, as we are humiliatingly denied even the so-called ex gratia payment. We are shocked to witness that AIBOC, our parent organization, is also a party to this injustifiable attitude when AIBOC is expected to protect all the four sectors as promulgated by the 4 stars in the very emblem of the AIBOC. We know in the emblem of AIBOC we can see 4 stars, public sector, private sector, cooperative sector, and regional rural banks. Even in regional rural banks, the 12th bipartite settlement and ex gratia benefit is extended, but it is not, unfortunately, extended to the retirees in the private sector. Totally ignoring the relevance of the mandate given by the private sector banks, we are feeling discriminated by the policymakers and representatives of the bank unions in the matter of extending ex gratia benefit to the private sector retirees, when everything else provided in the 12th bipartite settlement is extended in toto to those in the service in private sector banks in tune with the mandate given by the respective private sector bank managements. This kind of stepmotherly attitude of authorities is surprisingly a clear discrimination only to the retired pensioners of private sector banks. We are at a loss to understand the meaning of mandate asked and obtained by IBA from the private sector banks, a befooling of the managements and retirees alike belonging to the private sector banks by the latest bipartite settlement signed. This kind of highly objectionable discrimination against the retirees alone in the private sector banking, throwing to winds the mandate given by the private sector banks, points to a villainous possibility of a potential danger in the matter of pension updation to the retirees in private sector banks. I take this opportunity to urge AIBOC, our parent organization, not to make the private sector bank retirees scapegoats anymore by dancing to the tunes of certain vested interests in the apex level to treat the private sector bank personnel as second-hand citizens of the Indian banking system. We are very glad that Comrade Shimit has been elevated as the senior vice president of IBOC at national level. Likewise, the president of FBOA, Comrade Sachin Jacob Paul, he is also elevated as deputy health secretary, and treasurer Janip Kachapalli is elevated to the committee. I am sure that these leaders will definitely represent our case at the apex level and will try to find a resolution to the pending issues of the retirees. I also call upon the affiliates belonging to the private sector in UFBU to effectively intervene to block similar atrocities made to the banking personnel belonging to the private sector. Before concluding, I would like to gratefully greet Sri Shyam Srinivasan and his entire team for the empathetic approach displayed gracefully towards the yesteryears. We are pained to note that Sri Shyam sir is leaving the bank shortly after serving it as the most charismatic leader for the longest term after the golden days of the founder CEO, late KP Hormis. Another homegrown dynamic executive, Sri KK Ajit Kumar, who inaugurated our 27th AGM in his capacity as the president and CHRO of Federal Bank, has now taken over the reins of Dhanlakshmi Bank, another heritage private sector bank of Kerala, as its MD and CEO. I, on behalf of FBROF, wish both of them all the best in their post-federal innings. I do extend very thankful salute to FBOA, our parent organization, which is led by President Sachin Jacob Paul and General Secretary Shimit Paul. Similarly, at the national level, Comrades K.V. Acharya, President of IPAR, and Comrade Suprada Sarkar, General Secretary, always render us very supportive and seasoned guidance. At our organizational front, I value very much the relentless support I enjoy from our well-experienced and dynamic General Secretary Sri Paul Mundadan and teammate office bearers and members of the Executive Committee. Last but not the least, I thankfully acknowledge the invaluable feedback, guidance I receive from each and every one of you, the vice members of the backbone of the Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum. Friends, let us make this conference a grand success and a source of strength and foundation performance in the days ahead. Thank you all.
Hello. Thank you, President Sri Thomachan, for timely and impressive presentation of us being discriminated.
The MD and CEO of Federal Bank for the last 14 years, Sri Shyam Srinivasan, has always been supportive and a guide for our causes. He'll deliver his inaugural address online and declare the conference open. And subsequently, our leaders present on the dais will light the traditional lamp marking the inauguration physically. Hence, I kindly request you, Shyam sir, to stay with us during the lighting of the lamp too by the other dignitaries. Over to you, Shyam sir.
Alive, say that way. And I hope, I was mentioned earlier, not very far from now, I'll be in the camp of retired federals too. So I do hope to enjoy the same kind of health and energy that all of you do. When Paul had asked me to be here this morning to address all of you, I did think about what I would be talking about. I thought I'd just share with you what I wrote late last night to the entire bank about our bank and its opportunities and how we are placed. This is what they call a decadal opportunity. If we are pleased with what happened in the last 10 odd years, we should be supremely excited with what the next 10, 15 years hold for our bank. Most recently, only 3-4 days ago, a very leading brokerage house put out a report on Federal and called it the decadal opportunity. To my mind, this is an extremely big vote of confidence for our bank, good stuff that is happening, and more importantly, will happen in the period ahead. Now, as folks who've rendered great service to the bank over the last many years, I just heard that it's about 30 years old and the oldest retirees are now well into their 80s. I salute them for both their support and pray for their good health. But we can look back with great pride the progress the bank has made, and more importantly, the progress the bank will make and should make. When we talk about things like a decadal opportunity and how, what's going on, we should see it in the context of how things have evolved over the last few years, how we as a bank have positioned ourselves, how the teams have come together irrespective of whatever the causes of stress, whatever the tensions, whatever the personal issues, teams have come together to make this a remarkable franchise. Many years ago, we coined the phrase that we want to be the most admired bank. And as I always say, admiration is never bought, it is earned. We need to do a lot of stuff and do it all the time to continue to be admired. And only then the bank's opportunities will come to be real. So as retirees, your interests are certainly that the bank should do well. You've served it so well for 30, 40 years in some cases. And you would love to see your franchise, your bank, where your blood and sweat and toil have gone in to do well. And as a consequence, the future of the bank and the many more retirees who will come up in the years ahead will continue to enjoy the pride of place in society, say, I am an ex-federal. As I think about what the years hold and what I think can be takeaways for all of us, I'm not making this speech to give you guys some technical stuff that all of you know, and I'm sure your great, sort of very well articulated thoughts are going across to the country to make the case that you want to. But I would like to suggest the following. To me, it's all about thinking forward. To me, it's about thinking ahead of what the future holds for our bank. Thinking about, and that's how I worked all my working life. That's how I've seen the progress of our bank. To me, thinking forward, looking at the opportunities ahead, doing the right things to be there right at the forefront is my first thought as I point to you about future and what we should be doing, looking ahead for the bank. I've always maintained that we need to believe in the purpose. We need to be obsessed about the opportunity. We have to believe that this opportunity can be realized and our bank will be at the forefront. I've also maintained that to achieve the purpose that we are setting out, we can't be stuck in practices of the past. Continuous and constantly renovating ourselves, reinventing ourselves and staying relevant is of paramount importance. And I don't like us to be like somebody else. We have to be original. We have to make
Recording
sure that
stopped. Recording in progress.
we need to do the stuff that makes us unique and authentic. Somebody is have to go on mute, please. Being authentic and original is of paramount importance. Only then we will create raving fans for Federal Bank. So if you look at it, what my view for the future is thinking forward, believing in the opportunity, staying relevant, looking at the entire thing about being original, and lastly, creating fans, which coincidentally is what FBOROF is what you all constitute. So my message to this entire esteemed gathering is bank's future, as much as it is in the hands of the current and serving employees, also belongs and also is part of what all the 2,500, 3,000 of you are part of and would like to celebrate and see the bank blossom, see the bank progress. And in the journey of FBROF lies the few facts that I mentioned: thinking forward, believing in the opportunity, staying relevant, staying original, and most importantly, creating raving fans. So I'll close my inaugural address by suggesting that first, thank you very much for everything that all of you have done over the years. Bank does try to extend its best possible support. There are constraints, and there will be constraints as any organization will have. It's not a charity organization. We need to be sensible about the opportunities ahead and how do we balance out everything. But the empathy, the humane aspect, the digital at the fore, the human at the core theme of our bank will not fade. We remain committed to being building a most admired bank franchise. All of us, current, past, serving, all have a role to play. You're all great ambassadors of the bank. Going about talking about the bank in its most pristine manner certainly builds the future and shapes the future of our bank. So once again, thank you for having me. I wish you all a wonderful conference. Do have very robust debates. And indeed, this is going to be the future. And to my mind, this is absolutely the decadal opportunity for Federal Bank. So once again, best wishes. Remember, think forward, believe in the opportunity, stay relevant, be original, and most importantly, create raving fans. That to my mind is FBROF. Good wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shyam sir. Also, please kindly stay back during the lighting of the lamp. Now I request all the dignitaries on the dais, Sri Thomachan, Sri Paul Mundaran, Sri Tom Thomas, Sri Srimit PR, and Sri Bhasi PK to join the lighting of the lamp. Audience, please rise. Thank you all. Everyone, please be seated.
Thank you very much. All the best.
Our guest of honor of the day is Comrade Acharya KV, National President of All India Bank Pensioners and Retirees Confederation, IPARC. He will be delivering his speech online. Sir, over to you for your address as guest of honor.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I'm audible.
Yes,
no?
sir, you are audible.
Respected Chairman and CEO of Federal Bank, Sri Shyam Srinivasan ji, President of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum, Comrade Thomason, General Secretary Comrade Paul Mundadan, President of Kerala State Labour Park, Comrade Tom Thomas, Comrade Shimit PR, General Secretary of FBOA, our very beloved General Secretary Comrade Subrata Sarkar, and great comrades of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum. I am indeed very happy and privileged to address you on this historic 29th conference, National Conference of Federal Bank Retired Officers Forum. In fact, I had the opportunity to address you also earlier on several occasions. We always find our Federal Bank comrades, both in service as well as retired, the kind of vibrancy that they display in the organizational matters, the kind of commitment and dedication that being the hallmark of Federal Bank comrades is something that we always enjoy, appreciate, and cherish. I was fortunate today to witness the General Secretary's welcome speech and also the address by Comrade Thomason and the address by your chairman, and the way in which your chairman gave kudos to you, the way in which the chairman appreciated the contributions of the Federal Bank serving officers and employees as well as the retired members of the bank, is something which should be definitely lauded, because acknowledgement of the contributions by the management of the members is something rare to see these days. But I am very happy that Federal Bank management is always known for its generosity, magnanimity, and the relationship between the management and the officers' organization, as well as the retired officers' forum, is always a very special relationship of mutual understanding and concern for each other. With this kind of attitude, I am certain that the bank stands to gain, and the members also stand to gain. I am very happy to see that such a large congregation of Federal Bank retired officers in this hall, and as rightly told by Comrade Mundadan, that many hundreds of comrades could be witnessing this historic conference online, And yours is one organization which has been very meticulously conducting the conference every year. And probably I think there is no other organization which is so meticulously organizing the conference every year. And I must really congratulate you for this kind of very, very special kind of interest that you take, the involvement of the members in the organizational activities. I'm equally happy to note that the conference is being held in the historic hall of late Comrade P.V. Matthew, a legendary figure in the trade union movement. I was fortunate to have a very, very close relationship with Comrade Matthew, and I had visited even your engineering institute, which was, he was the main person behind that great institution. And the kind of leadership that he gave to the both the serving officers as well as to the retired people is something very, very great. And in this historic occasion, I gratefully remember and pay my rich tributes to the memory of Comrade P.V. Matthew. Comrades, since it is online, I do not want to get into any kind of lengthy speech. But then, of course, your apex body, ALUVA, which was founded in 2012, and the founder, General Secretary was Comrade S.R. Sengupta, and I was at the time the President, and Comrade Subhita Sarkar became the General Secretary of the organization immediately after the sad demise of Comrade S.R. Sengupta. But the foundation laid by Comrade Sengupta was something very unique. Today, this organization is respected, recognized, and adjudged as one of the most dependable organization of the bank retirees. The challenges are many. In fact, if you go through the challenges when we started the organization in 2012, virtually none of the issues of the retirees were considered by the management or by the IBA or the government. Many of the things were considered as impossible to achieve, whether it is family pension improvement, whether it is resolution of 100% DA, whether it is improvement of ex gratia payments to the pre-86 retirees, or now the latest one, the one more option to the resign. These are the things which happened in course of time, but after a long struggle. Yes, we were always expecting support from the United Forum of Bank Unions. They, as our younger brothers, we were expecting a lot from them. Here and there, of course, they did extend their support. But then, of course, as rightly pointed out by Comrade Thomachan, the required kind of enthusiasm in helping their elder brothers was little missing. We are trying to make an appeal to the UOBU leadership that they should also take care of their elder brothers and sisters, and see that the issues are resolved. Comrades said, the improvement in family pension is one of the most unique achievement of ALUVA. We had to meet the Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, not once or twice, at least 3 times we had gone and met and continuously followed up the issues. And the continuous efforts made her ultimately call upon the chief executives of the bank in the 73rd annual general body meeting of IBA, calling upon the chief executives that they should treat their ex-employees as members of the same family. It was a great message to the chief executives of the bank. And not only she told, she later on started responding to the request of the retirees organization. We went and even explained to her the kind of discrimination that has been shown against the retirees who retired before 2002 in the matter of DA. DA neutralization for pre-2002 retired was denied, and it was a clear case of discrimination. Unfortunately, the individuals we went to the court They did not have proper resources with them. They could not fight the case properly. And the case was lost in the Supreme Court. When a case was lost in the Supreme Court, it is always taken that the Supreme Court is a final court, and whatever the judgment they give is taken as the law of the land. And we were told very clearly that there is no question of getting 100% DA neutralization because we have lost the case in the Supreme Court. But we did not give up. ALUVA Park is the only organization which did not lose hopes. We continued our efforts. We tried to meet the minister, we tried to meet the IBA, and we explained to them that the judgment was an erroneous judgment. And ultimately, we were able to make them understand that something had gone wrong in the delivery of the judgment. And of course, as a via media, they at least agreed to extend the 100% DA neutralization to pre-2002 retirees. Of course, prospectively, in the process, many of our comrades who had lost their lives in the last nearly 23 years, they could not see the real fruit of the understanding. But at least we are happy that those who are still alive, they could at least get the benefit. We are a aging group, sort of a vanishing tribe, and the age is really catching up on all of us. And we don't have time. We are in a hurry to get the things resolved in favor of the retirees. So somewhere we have to draw a line, and we have to see that some kind of understanding is reached, at least to the people who are still surviving. They should get the benefit before they leave the world. With that intention, comrades, we try to see that the family, not only the family pension improvement, we also ensure that 100% DA neutralization is given, and at the same time, the most important issue of pension updation. Though we have been fighting the case in the court of law, also in the Supreme Court is pending, the date is yet to come, and we expect that very shortly the final hearing will take place. And we are very confident because the pension regulation is very clear. The regulation 35(1) gives a very, very crystal clear provision so far as updation is concerned. And the only thing is that the IBA is not ready to see the truth, and they are misleading the government also on this issue. And the UB also, unfortunately, has not started accepting the 35(1), regulation 35(1). It is in black and white, it is a gazette notification, it is a statutory provision. A statutory provision cannot be just like that dumped. It has to be honored. And we are very certain that the Supreme Court will give the judgment in our favor. But meanwhile, seeing the force in the argument of updation, they started giving what is called ex gratia. We know very well that ex gratia cannot be a substitute for updation. But then, of course, something is better than nothing. For the time being, it is accepted in that spirit. And I'm very, very sorry to say that when with the nearly 3 decades struggle, ultimately even a small amount of ex gratia, when it was agreed to be given to the pensioners, the private sector banks, it is still not implemented. It is very, very painful to see that being the member banks of the IBA, having given the mandate to IBA to negotiate on behalf of both the serving employees as well as the retirees, and having signed the pension settlement by all the member banks, including the private sector banks. But when the question of improvement comes, if the private sector bank managements do not honor the understanding of the bipartite settlement or joint notes, it speaks about the kind of bilateralism that is existing, and in the way in which it is being damaged by the attitude of the IBA and the managers. I would request all the private sector bank management and from federal bank management very they should try to see that the ex gratia payment to the pensioners is sanctioned immediately. In fact, even people are counting their days now because people are in the evening of their life. Even a delay of 1 day, it can cause great kind of a sort of denial to the concerned person. And this denial at the time of departing from this world will be really very, very unfortunate. The management should understand this, and they should try to see that the retirees are not left in the lurch, and due respect and due concern for their welfare should be taken note of by the management. Well, comrades, there are other issues which have come now, whether it is commutation or whether it is about gratuity and all that. I can only assure you, as your apex body, we will try to see that almost all these issues are sorted out either through the court and also through negotiation. Negotiation means that we don't have the negotiation rights, though we have been asking for that. But then, of course, behind the scenes also we can negotiate, and that we have been doing very effectively with the ministry, with the minister, and with the IBA and with the bank management. I am very, very certain that the commutation issue, which has come in Punjab and Haryana High Court, we will see to it that a logical conclusion is given to that, and the benefit of that commutation for the lesser period of this one, recovery will be achieved. At the same time, gratuity also is an issue. The Nainital High Court, Uttarakhand High Court has given a judgment. We are following it up that issue also. And medical insurance is one thing which is really causing a big heartburn to everybody. And the most important medical assistance is being denied to the bank pensioners at a time when they need it the most. And some kind of favorable developments have taken place. We hope that a comprehensive medical benefit will be given. In fact, we have been asking that almost the same kind of arrangement with the central government pensioners are having in the name of CGHS, Central Government Health Service Assistance. The same kind of one-time payment and lifetime benefits should be given. But anyway, to start with, at least they should restore the minimum base policy of 4 lakhs rather than the case for increasing the base policy because of the increasing cost, hospitalization cost. It should be increased further when there is a Ayushman program by the government, which itself is giving 5 lakhs. For bank pensioners, if they are restricting to 4 lakhs, it is something very, very amusing and at the same time very, very hurting also. But these are all the issues, comrades, we are definitely going to take up, and because of the continuous efforts of ALUVA Park, I am at least happy that now the EOBU also realized that medical insurance is one of the most important things, and with the new kind of arrangement that they have agreed now, at least the premium will reasonably little come down. We want it to make as affordable as possible, and the management should at least bear the base policy premium. That is our demand. Let us hope that the bank management and IBA will positively respond to that. And recently, of course, I was just going through this circular of Comrade Paul Mundadan. He has very beautifully explained about the kind of charge sheets and the kind of proceedings in the court against the bank retirees, both serving as well as the retiree officers, for the so-called misconduct. They call it as misconduct, but then minor procedural lapses in the course of the discharge of their normal duties as banker. The most sensitive kind of responsibilities we are having as when we are in service, and there could be some procedural mistakes, but taking that procedural mistakes and accusing the pensioners of having colluded with the fraudsters and all that is again very, very hurting, and subjecting them to this kind of court proceedings or imprisonment and kind of charge sheets, all these things are very, very unfortunate. This is the case with many of the banks. Even the top executives of the banks are not spared. And I think a proper kind of protection should be given by the management. And we should ensure that such kind of unfortunate comrades are given complete help, both by the organization and by the institutions. Well, comrades, you have been holding this conference in such a successful way, and Kerala is known for the trade union movement, and especially the federal bank, both serving organizations as well as the retired organizations are part of this great movement. And I must congratulate you for all the kind of support you have been giving to ALUVA Park, and you are one of the most, we feel very proud about your affiliation with ALUVA Park. ALUVA Park is very proud to have you as our affiliate. And your leaders, right from, as I know, from Matthews, and now of course Paul Mundad and Comrade Thomason and Comrade Thomas, many of you have been a great source of strength for us, and you have been a role model to the bank retirees organizations. I wish that this inaugural function is one more feather in your cap, and we wish you all the success, the conference, a grand success, and red salute to you all, comrades. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to address you once again. Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you, sir, so much for your words of camaraderie and your support to us.
IPAC is still on warpath. The issue of pension updation remains unresolved. The retirees of private sector banks are still receiving a stepmotherly treatment. Comrade Suprita Sarkar, the General Secretary of IPAC, is the most apt person to narrate and explain the present situation in the war front. May I invite Comrade Suprita Sarkar for his keynote address, which all of us are eager to listen. He'll also be delivering his speech online.
Madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Audible,
Yes.
audible, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
proceed.
audible.
Okay. Respected President of the meeting, very respected senior leaders on the days of the days, my dear younger brother, the General Secretary of AIBOC affiliated organization in Federal Bank, ladies and gentlemen, myself, on behalf of AIB Park, congratulate each one of you individually and severally on the occasion of the 29th AGM of your organization. You have already heard from Comrade KVA that we value our organization in Federal Bank too much. We know it is one of the very vibrant, very responsive organization and affiliate of AIB Park. I have pleasure to say that all your senior leaders, Comrade Thamachan, Comrade Tom Thomas, Comrade Paul Mundodan, and all others are regularly contributing in a very serious and sensible way in the governing council meeting of AIB Park, and our entire body is being enriched by their collective wisdom. I compliment your leaders and your organization profusely. Comrades, I know that all of you are supercharged with emotion. I know there are members who are above 60, above 65, above 70, above 80, and even more than that. I know all of you are suffering from a sense of anguish, restlessness, and anger. For the same reason, while the retirees of the RRBs and even of the public sector banks have already received the ex gratia, but the same is not being extended to the retirees of the private sector bank. I tell you, myself personally and our organization AIB Park, share your agony and anguish. I can only tell you what are the achievements and what are the role of AIBOC, particularly in this respect. You have seen from our correspondence, which is available in our website, that from day one, we have been writing to IBA that on the very day the agreement has been arrived at, management has given a list of enclosure containing the names of the banks which are the parties to the settlement, which are the member banks to the settlement. And in this list of member banks, the names of different private sector banks are there, including the name of Federal Bank. If that be so, it means clearly that the management of all these banks have given prior authorization to Indian Banks Association to enter into salary division agreement and resultant consequences. If that be so, what is the fun of not extending financial ex gratia to the people of the private sector banks? Our point is very clear and simple. We are very much against putting this issue under the headlines of these residual issues. I am just reminding you, there is a minutes on record which has been arrived at on 8th of March in between Indian Banks Association and different award staff organizations. In that minutes, it has been told that all the issues which include the issue of financial ex gratia payable to private sector banks to be sorted out within a period of 6 months. 8th March is the date. That means the outer limit of the date is 8th of September. I'd only like to know one thing, that 8th September is the outer date, but that does not mean that management will have to move up to the outer date of that limit. Immediately, we demand that there should be a meeting of the committee on residual issues and it should be cleared. I only tell you, comrade, I know you are sentimentally charged, but please do not be so much agonized. I am telling you, AIB Park is on the job and we shall see to it that it is paid at an early date, and we are pressurizing IBA to see that it is done at a very early date. Now you will be, definitely you are now very much interested about ex gratia, but you have probably forgotten that ex gratia is not the subject which brings 100% happiness to us. It is an interim measure. It is an ad hoc limit. It has nothing to do with updation proper. We have told very clearly in previous meetings of your bank, which is also documented and recorded, that AIB Park is the only organization which has repeatedly harped on Regulation 35.1 and Appendix number 1. In that appendix, something is written, but that something has been amended in the year 2003 when Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee had been the Prime Minister of that country. After making the amendment of Appendix 1 of Regulation 35.1, it has been made clear that any person, whoever is eligible for the purpose of pension updation, their pension will be updated in the following manner, and a calculation has been given. Whenever some people, they are crying loud that a clause is to be entered into the pension regulation that pension updation is to be done at the time of each and every wage revision. Many of our members are thinking it is highly rational demand, it is a very good demand. What is the harm in not incorporating you? My dear friends, there is a hidden agenda item in this particular demand. Something what is already written by way of amendment that clearly tells that updation is to be done and updation is to be done in the following manner. The way of calculation has also been indicated. In such a situation, IBA is trying to create an atmosphere that there is no such clause like pension updation in bank employees pension regulation, and that is why they did not update the pension of the existing pensioners. I have a fear that they are trying to take the help of this particular proposal in the Supreme Court case which is pending, but their efforts will not succeed. Members will have to understand that the concept of pension updation is duly documented. It is duly codified. What we demand is not introduction of this particular clause, but we demand immediate implementation of the same by IBA. IBA will have to declare the fitment formula of updation in respect of each bipartite settlement. This is a particular thing I am sure you will understand and you will keep in mind. Comrade Acharya has given you an understanding what is going to happen about the group medical insurance scheme. We are primarily happy because after so many years of endeavor, United Forum of Bank Unions and Bank Management's conglomerate IBA have understood clearly that there should be a single, combined and comprehensive policy, which is the only way to offer financial relief in the matter of the burden of annual premium of GMISR, Group Medical Insurance Scheme for bank retirees. In 2015, it was like that. From 2016 to 2024, all these 9 years, the retirees, the senior citizens have been put to enormous hardship by a misconception, by a wrong explanation of the thing that combined policy of retirees and serving people cannot be done. We have told again and again that we have gone to the office of National Insurance Company and also to the other office. They have told that there is no legal bar. It is the management, it is the organizations which will have to agree that they want a combined policy. I am very happy that the combined policy has been there. But we do not have any hesitation. Just a few days back, we had a very serious meeting of senior leaders where Comrade Paul Mundodan had been present. He will vouchsafe. We are happy that there is a combined policy, but we have a fear about two things. We are going to demand that the premium for the retirees must be the same as that of the serving employees, and that the determination and calculation of the value of top-up policy should not be left independently to the care of the insurance company. It must be a product of the negotiated settlement. Otherwise, it might so happen, like the previous year, the insurance company will make such an abnormal hike in the premium of the top-up policy that the retirees will suffer like anything. So we are going to lodge our demand. We are happy, but not 100% relieved. We will definitely try to see that something is done. Friends, many of you who have retired after 1/11/2012 are deeply worried about the special assistance allowance case. You know, there are several High Court cases. The recent one is the Uttarakhand High Court case, and there is a Supreme Court case to which we have repeatedly drawn the attention of IBA and Government of India. We have told them very clearly that today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I am sure that the management, the IBA will lose this suit. It is certain, it is sure, nobody can obstruct it. Please do not force us to waste our money and time. But they did not follow the honest litigation policy. By making a prayer to the Supreme Court, they have brought all the pending court cases at Delhi. Now there are 14 court cases pending over here. We have seen some of the court cases have demanded pension updation, a pension calculation in a correct manner. Some of the suits have demanded improvement of gratuity, but we have seen that very few court cases are there pending before the Delhi High Court, which is comprehensive. As a result, we have taken a decision that one of our affiliates will file a comprehensive suit by making all the demands incorporated together on account of non-computation of special allowance for the purpose of calculation of superannuation dues like pension and gratuity, and we shall try to implement the party. I am requesting my friends, all ladies and all gentlemen, to have a good life, to have a secured life so that you can enjoy the benefit. I am 100% sure within 3 to 4 or 5 years maximum, this special assistance case, allowance case will be lost by the bank, and the employees and the officers and the retirees will get full benefit of it. This is unfortunate to tell that management has made improvement of family pension after several years. They have delayed the 100% denuclearization for several years, and they will be delaying the computation of special allowance for several years. Although they know it very well, there is no escape way out. Do you know why it is done? The only logic behind is, in the course of law, in the process of natural wastage, many people will die, and ultimately government and IBA will have to pay to lesser number of people. When 100% denuclearization case cropped up in the year 2002, the total number of beneficiaries had been 3,62,000. But when it was settled in the year 2022 or 23 like that, the total number of beneficiary came down to 1,53,000 only. All others passed away. So my only request is that have a good life so that you can enjoy the benefit of the court judgment. I am 100% sure within a few years it is going in our favor, and we are not going to make any kind of relaxation to make legal follow-up and spending money. Most important is we want consultative status. When we had been formed and floated by AIBOC in the year 2012, in the policy resolution, which is available in the website of the bank, it was clearly told that AIBOC will make all-out efforts to see that this becomes an independent organization and it gets a negotiable status. We are the same with AIBOC. Our whole life has gone with AIBOC. I remember Comrade Matthew, with whom I had been in the executive committee of AIBOC years after years. AIBOC is in our life. AIBOC is in our blood till the last day of our life. And I believe AIBOC will be definitely helping us to see that the retirees organizations get an opportunity to have independent negotiation status. In that case, so many smaller issues will be sorted out in the normal course of business. Last but not the least, I shall touch upon coordination. You know that there is an organization, CBPRO. It is a well-known name. This CBPRO has several constituents. One of the constituents is State Bank of India Pensioners Association, AIB Park, RBONC, FORBE, AIRBOA, and AIBRAF. All the organizations are there. Unfortunately, the organization AIBRF, of which Mr. S.C. Jain is the General Secretary, they had been with us in the year 2014. But from 2015 onward, they started drifting away. They demanded that there should be single convener and that convenership should be given to them only. None of the constituents agreed to it. They told one convener is from State Bank of India, one convener is from AIB Park, and the other convener may be Mr. Jain, and three joint conveners on the decision of unanimity will be making all functions, and retirees throughout the country will be happy. This is very unfortunate that Mr. Jain, at the fag end of almost at the end of the process, we started the movement in 2014, and in 2024, he suddenly discovered that the pensioners should demand third of pension should be a third demand. That means we shall be demanding pension, we shall be demanding own contribution of PF, and we shall be demanding management contribution of PF. That is the third option, third demand as a demand we will have to do. It is a good demand. Everybody will like to get more and more money, but you will have to understand the trickery of the entire subject. In the year 1993, the pension settlement was signed. Nowhere contributor EPF was demanded as a third benefit. Bank employees pension regulation came in the year 1995. Nowhere this demand was raised. Now this demand is being raised in the pattern of State Bank of India simply on the ground that they want to destroy the struggle for pension updation. We are very, very, very unhappy with this. You had been there, Mr. Jain and AIBA. You had been there in the 1993 settlement. You kept mum. You did not demand parity with State Bank of India. In 1995, the pension regulation kept. You kept mum. You did not demand parity with State Bank of India. State Bank of India had been getting it as a third benefit from the year 1972. That means 30 years for 24 years. 54 years it has gone. Nobody was telling anything except Comrade R.N. Godbole during his lifetime. But now, after so many decades, they have started floating that we should demand parity with State Bank of India. This is nothing but to create a spoil out to our demand, which is almost in a mature stage in the Supreme Court and also in the organizational front. I will tell you, comrade, we are coordination. We are coordinated body under the banner of CBPRO. Total 7.5 lakhs memberships, maximum portion is with us. State Bank, the major player, is with us. We shall be agitating, we shall be giving dharna, we shall be writing letter, we shall be making follow-up measures to see it is done. Our fight will continue in the judiciary, our fight will continue in the street, and we are sure that we are going to achieve something for the community of the retirees. With these few words, I congratulate each one of you, and I wish fervently that the 29th AGM of your forum will be an astounding success. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Thank you, Comrade, for detailing the present scenario at the national level and instigating hope and expectation in our minds.
Friends, the website of FBROF has been refurbished. FBOA is known for its fighting spirits for the welfare of working class. And Comrade Shimit PR is the General Secretary of FBOA, who is the apt person to launch the new and furbished website. Friends, we have also initiated a Facebook group page of Symphony, the cultural wing of FBROF. He will also launch that group page. Thank you, Sri Shimit. We are now eager to hear your words of felicitation and camaraderie.
President of this 29th Annual General Body Meeting of FBORF, Sri Thomachan KT, General Secretary Sri Paul Mundadan and Senior Vice President of IPAR, our respected MD and CEO Sri Shyam Srinivasan, Guest of Honor Sri KV Acharya, National President IPAR, and keynote address speaker, Sri Suprita Sarkar, National General Secretary, IPAR, Sri Tom Thomas, President, IPAR, Kerala State, General Convener Sri Basi PK, other leaders of FBRF and other affiliates, and all my senior officers, a warm good morning to all. I am extremely happy to stand before you in this 29th annual General Body meeting to address you. I am happy to see all my seniors here and the former leaders of FBOA here. It's a great opportunity for me. And on behalf of Federal Bank Association, I would like to thank the wishes by our President, General Secretary, and all of you for the elevation of FBOA leaders in the National All India Bank Officers Confederation. Once again, Sri Sachin Jacob Paul, elected as Deputy General Secretary of All India Bank Officers Confederation, Sri Genevieve J. Kachapalli as the Executive Committee member, and myself as Senior Vice President of AIBOC. This is truly a recognition of the activities or the support of FBOA members, where the previous leaders like our P.V. Matthew, Sri Paul Mundanan, and all of you. FBOA is always a vibrant body, not only in Kerala, but in national level. And the other banks knows it very clearly, and that is why this recognition is coming to FBOA always. And whatever the things already discussed here, I think the important one is the pension updation. It was mentioned again and again by all the leaders. So we know this time the bipartite settlement that completed within a span of 15 months. The meetings with IBU were so fast, and there was a plan to complete it before the election to Parliament. That was good for us on the one side, and on the other side we lost something. There was no strike to achieve this bipartite settlement. That was great for the first time. But we were forced to sign the settlement. That is another part. There was a memorandum. It was signed in December 7th, 2023, with certain conditions, the amount of load involved to enhance the salary and other allowances. How much was the increase in load to DA increase, total percentage of amount. So that was signed on December 7, 2023, and there was one clause in it. That was point 8 in the memorandum signed on December 7, 2023. That point reads as, all other issues of the management and the unions bar association discussed during the process of negotiation, including payment of ex gratia to pensioners and family pensioners of private sector banks and foreign banks, will be settled to the mutual satisfaction. This was the point number 8 in the memorandum dated 7 December 2023. I was there at that time. It was not mentioned at the time of discussion, but after the discussion, this point came. I asked our national IBOC leader, Comrade Ruben Roy, about this point. And the reply given was, it is on my mobile also, there was much resistance from Federal Bank on load also, and that shows their reluctance to continue. That was the word by our All India Bank Officers Confederation National General Secretary. That means to include private sector bank in this ex gratia for pensioners, there was a reluctance from all the managements, including Federal Bank. So they keep it as open. We know the pension is the most demand. Pension, updation of pension is the most demand from all our retirees. it was introduced in 1995, pension for bank employees. For the last 30 years, there is not much increase in that pension. And this is a long pending demand, and it's only because of that this ex gratia to pensioners was introduced in 12th by 38 or the 9th joint note. It is not matching with the updation of pension, but it is a little solace to our demand. So how much will be the ex gratia for pensioners if it is implemented in our bank? We might have, now the current PF number in our bank is 25,000, around 25 plus. That means if we take from the assistance of Federal Bank, we may have 25,000 employees. From 2010 onwards, it is NPS system, so we can remove from 2010 onwards officers or employees, whatever we have. My PF number is 6850. I have 9 years remaining. So we can take an exemption that maybe up to PF number 5,500, all might have retired in the bank. That means 5,500 employees may be retirees. And if you are ready to give ex gratia, released to give ex gratia to those 5,500 employees, how much will be our total amount payout? Yesterday I talked to one person in State Bank of India, how much he is getting as ex gratia, monthly ex gratia. He informed me that he is getting 1,200. He is retired 4 years back, so he is getting 1,200. If we consider from 1,200 to maybe we can take an average of 3,000 as ex gratia to pensioners. If we consider all the employees, let us say 3,000 is the monthly amount of ex gratia to one retired officer or one employee. So if we consider 5,000 retired employees in our bank, it will come to around 5,000 into 3,000. 1.5, right? 1.5 crores. Yeah. Per month we have to pay out for 1.5 crores. And if we go for 12 months, it will be 18 crores. 18 crores is the amount required for releasing ex gratia to pensioners. 50 lakhs. No, 5,000 into 3,000. 1.5 crores, yes. 1.5 crores per month. 6 zeros. Yes. And 18 crores per year. So that is the amount for paying ex gratia to pensioners. How much is our profit, bank's profit? The last year it was 3,710 crores. How much was our profit in 2022? It was 1,800 crores. 1,800 lakhs. Sorry, 1,800 crores. So from 2022 to 2024, our profit share increased to almost double and reached 3,700. So whether we don't have that money to pay the ex gratia, that is our question. If the private banks are doubting about the payment capacity, that is sure. All the private sector banks or the banks are ultimate aim is profit, not the social improvement or social justice or what the changes, whatever we are talking about. Profit is required. But this much profit we have acquired for the last 2 years, or when we consider from the present MD and CEO's part, we have gone grown such a way that we can pay the ex gratia for another 10 years. Even though this ex gratia is for a period of 5 years, from 2022 to 2017, that is the condition. This ex gratia will be for a period of this bipartite settlement only, subject to review, because so many cases, as mentioned, so many cases are pending at various courts. So that will be going through another direction, and this ex gratia is restricted for 5 years with an annually review also. So my point is, bank is having that capacity to pay the ex gratia in federal bank officers or federal bank employees. More than that capacity. If they are spending the amount for marketing, a portion of their marketing expenses is enough to pay the ex gratia to our employees. And they are saying that as because of the clause in our bipartite or the joint note, they are not able to pay. That is their version, management's version. But I don't believe that, because when this joint note was signed, immediately I met our management and asked about this payment of ex gratia. At that time, they have mentioned about that, yeah, we are ready to give that because it comes a small amount. But after 1 month, when it was at the time of implementation, salary revision implementation, it was totally changed. And now they are sticking on to that clause in bipartite settlement. And I asked our National General Secretary, Ruben Roy, about this. So he informed me that already communication given to Federal Bank management, if they are ready to implement, they can implement. There is no problem. Because it is like that, respective banks management can take the decision to implement the ex gratia. So that is the position I want to clarify on behalf of the All India Bank Officers Confederation also. Because ABOC is always, now it is the largest organization among the bank employees. And is always supporting the issues of retirees employees. Even the Punjab National Bank General Secretary is a retired officer. So this pension updation, as I mentioned earlier, it is a long-time demand. It is coming in all the executive committee meetings. It is an agenda in the all executive committee meeting that pension updation is required. Like our 5-day banking. You know, the 5-day banking was a long demand. It was started from 2007, and we got 2 days off in 2015. So there is a process. 8 years it took to get 2 days off, and another 9 years, and it is still pending with the ministry. So if we not, if your government is not implemented the 5-day break or announced the 5-day break, ABSC took a decision to go for agitation. Anyway, that is the situation. So I would like to reiterate it that the support from AIBOC to implement this ex gratia to pensioners in private sector bank, especially for our federal bank, that will be always be there, and we will take all the effort to implement it immediately in our federal bank. We have already started the agitation, starting with a protest demonstration at Thiruvananthapuram, and one of the points in that is the implementation of ex gratia to pensioners. So all the meetings or whatever the discussion with the management we have, we will raise this point and we will get it done. Nowadays, everybody is talking about the pressure, harassment, the banking sector is experiencing. So many cases of suicides are coming. So in the national level also, these cases are coming up. Other banks, all other banks, working up to 12 midnight. Bank of India General Secretary was saying that a review meeting was conducted up to 12 midnight. So that is the position. Banking sector is changing a lot. The management is trying to make the profit with the more stringent actions on the employees and daily targets, etc. So it is a time to be on the street. We know this is also the time to go with the court and also with the street. So I request all of your support also. FBOA is always in the forefront in all the agitation programs, but we know this is our bank. That also in our mind. And only because of that, the bank reached a total business of 4,61,000 lakhs in the last year. What happened to South Indian Bank or other banks, Catholic Syrian banks? other private sector bank, old generation banks. South Indian Bank and our Federal Bank was neck and neck on one time, and we are almost double now. It is only because of the vibrant trade unions in this organization. If there is no vibrant trade unions, the bank will not exist. We heard about the Bank of Madura. Now it is nowhere. Lakshmi Vilas Bank, Lord Krishna Bank, Nedungadi Bank, all is gone. So the association or trade union activities should be vibrant. At this time, we should keep our mind that this is our bank, and only because of that, we all are FBOA and FBOA is here. Thank you very much, comrades. Once again, I congratulate all of you for and make this conference a grand success. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Smith, for explaining the different stands taken by the managements in implementing the ex gratia clauses. Your support to us for achieving this benefit is exemplary. Thank you. I now request Sri Tom Thomas, President of IPARC, Kerala Unit, to deliver his words of felicitation.
Chief guest of the day, respected Sri Shyam Srinivasan, MD and CEO of Federal Bank, guests of honor, Comrade K.V. Acharya, Comrade Subrata Sarkar, President and General Secretary of AIB PAR, Sri K.T. Thomachan, President FBROF and President of this meeting, Sri Shimit, General Secretary of FBOA, and the newly elected National Senior Vice President of AIBOC, Sri Paul Mundaran, General Secretary, FBROF, Sri P.K. Bhasi, Convener, Reception Committee, distinguished guests, fellow federals and friends online and offline. A very warm welcome and a very warm good morning to all of you from the part of Kerala State AIB Park Committee. I do feel privileged to have the honor of addressing the AGM of my own organization, representing the entire members of AIB Park in the state of Kerala. At the outset itself, I would like to compliment the FBROF members for their massive involvement, making FBROF a great pillar of strength and a perennial source of inspiration for all the activities of AIB Park, not only in Kerala state, but in other states as well. The State Committee of AIB Park, Kerala, on behalf of this AIB Park State Committee, may I extend a very warm and big salute to all the valiant warriors of AIB Park in Kerala and all over the country as well. Friends, we are elated with the enlightening speech of the chief guest, Sri Shyam Srinivasan, MD and CEO of our bank, and encouraged by the inspiring speeches of Comrade Acharya, Comrade Subrata Sarkar, and Comrade Shimit. Post-2012, the year in which AIB Park formed, the bank pensioners surged ahead, challenging heroically against the many ill treatment and injustices thrown upon the bank pensioners in the country. We are at a loss to understand what anti-national crime the bank retirees have done to the country and our fellow men for denying our legally backed legal right for periodical pension updation, and the continued robbery of substantial amount of pension every month from and including family pensioners every month through a cruelly designed guillotine named as special allowance. The astonishing fact is that this kind of converting the increments at the fag end of the service from calculating the pension and other retirement benefits is only forced upon the banking sector in the country. Is there such a provision in the Indian Administrative Service? Is there such a provision of converting the last periodical increments to special allowance to bar the pension amount in the Indian Police Service, in the revenue services, in the government and central government and state government services? Absolutely no. Then I would like to ask the MPs and MLAs whether there is a provision to cut their pension on this kind of a formula, considering their tenure of the term enjoyed as MPs and MLAs in cutting the pension. The AIB per Kerala state feels it is an atrocity. It is a violation of human rights on the senior citizens of the banking sector in the country. And alas, IBA managements, we can understand. Unfortunately, the bank unions also concurred for us such a draconic rule. That is the tragedy in it. And we know medical insurance. We heard it is a sad commentary of the not empathy nor sympathy, but something else against the retirees. Now it is said that a comprehensive policy will be making much relief to that one. With all respect to our General Secretary, who has Supreme Sarkar, who has said that it will give a relief, I would like to take a different stand. Friends, if it is a comprehensive policy, we should understand that so far no insurance company has given a clear idea of the claim ratio of the pensioners and those in service. And remember, those in service, the husband and wife, minimum 2 children, 4, and not as per the tradition and the experience we had in our earlier days. Today, most of the employees, working employees, 1 or 2, and many children will be having their parents as dependent parents, aged senior citizens. So if both husband and wife are having their parents as dependent parents because of the present situation we know, single child in many houses, and they are in the home state and elders are in abroad, naturally their parents will be the dependents. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, minimum 6, and a chance of plus 2 for the spouse if dependent, 8. 8 persons claim ratio, and we are having only 2, ourselves and our spouse. And many of our colleagues are ill-fated to lose their spouse also. So from this 8 and 2 ratio, what will be, including 2 plus perhaps 4 senior citizens in their policy, what will be the claim ratio? What will be the eligibility? What will be the sum claimed by those in service and those in retired group? I think the only solution is that 100% subsidy from the bank we have served. The retirees have pledged their life to the banks during their life, and the only panacea of this one is the 100% subsidy from the bank managements. And one more thing, why the government of India should be silent? We know the highest volume of trade in the country is for petroleum items. There is no GST for petroleum products, petrol and diesel. We get the bill, no GST. And for gold, there is only 3% GST. And for polished diamonds, there is only 1.5% GST. So there is absolutely no sense in saying that, compelling that our medical insurance policy should bear 18% GST. This is a social security of the senior citizens. I call the government to say that I am requesting for scrapping the GST as a social security measure of the senior citizens, not only from the bank sector, the entire senior citizens of the country should be made eligible for a scrapped GST framed insurance policy. That is the ultimate solution for this, our present crisis of unbearable, unaffordable policy of medical insurance we are suffering. And of late, as already said, the private sector banks have been denied the ex gratia. Whether it is 1,000, 1,500, 300, 3,000 or 1 rupee, that is not the matter. That is a question of principle. Whatever be given to the public sector banks and including the regional rural banks, why we should be barred? Why the private sector should be barred? General Secretary of AAB are saying that it is there in the agenda. Our General Secretary of FBOA is saying that it is the management, federal bank management and many of the private bank management objects. When our own FBROF leaders met the bank management, I learned that management showed a very positive trend. I'm not making it a pursuit for anybody, but I would like to say that this ex gratia provision is made on behalf of the UFBU and IBA banks in the pretext of possible delay of pension updation, for which we are forced to go for suits and court cases. Why not the IBA and UFBU can together think and offer the pension updation itself, and we will be readily withdrawing all our cases if it is a fair pension settlement is there. So the ex gratia is not the question. And one more thing, if the private sector banks, many banks we know, have given qualified mandates during that bi-party settlement, where this was not, because pension updation was a residual issue. It was there. And no bank management, I am sure, from private sector has given a qualified mandate for the pension of the retirees. So anything in the name of pension updation delay, anything is provided, it will be automatically binding all the private sector banks and all the banks which was given mandate for the residual issue of pension updation. If any management is not agreeing, it is the duty of IBA and UFBU to discipline, and Finance Ministry to discipline those banks which have given the mandate, and subsequent withdrawal we cannot allow, IBA should not allow. I think federal banks, from our experience, may not be totally against such a well-being measure to the retirees. And friends, there are so many injustices as we are seeing, infringing upon the retirees of banking sector. Whether we are, the bankers, are having any COVID-19 in our financial chest of the banks, or any other contagious diseases in our career blood, to keep this unhealthy attitude from the authorities concerned for dealing with the pensioners issue. We know the biggest tragedy is that pensioners are not heard by the authorities. There's no logic in it. Even we know the Gazette publication regarding the pension case is clearly telling that if any doubt is there, it will be in the lines of the central government employees. And there is a pay commission for giving that pension details of the government, central government employees. And the pay commission make time to hear the retirees of the central service. Same should be applicable here. Unfortunately, the UFBU is not insisting, the IBA is not agreeing, the government of India is not forcing upon the IBA and UFBU to consult the main stakeholders, the retirees. The tragedy is that just like if Indian territory is going to be defined and decided by the countries like Pakistan and China, and without hearing India, what will be the position of India? The same ill fate we are having here. That is why we are having these kind of problems. I think when we are having this conference, we heard the president saying, because of the paucity of time, I'm not mentioning the hundreds of problems we are facing, the hundreds of discriminations we are facing, hundreds of heartburns we are having in the financial sector from UFBU and IBA. Consequent to that, we are forced to think that whether IBA means Indian Banks Association or Indifferent Bank Association for the cause of the retirees. Whether UFBU means United Forum of Bank Unions or Unfriendly Forum of Bank Unions as far as the retirees are concerned. Friends, paucity of time is there. I'm not touching upon the other aspects, various other aspects are there. I'm not touching upon that one. But before concluding, I would like to recollect a comment made by our President, Sri K.T. Thomachan, in his presidential address, that our MD and CEO, Sri Shyam Sundar, is leaving the bank. The Federal Bank is getting deprived of the golden services of the Sri Shyam Srinivasan shortly. In fact, as a spokesman of AIB for Kerala State, I have to admit that it is a disturbing news, not for the retirees of Federal Bank alone, it is for the entire retirees of the banking sector. A painful news from the viewpoint of all bank retirees all over the country, because the Shyam Srinivasan model is an amazing management theory of how to care former workforce of banks, valuing them as the ambassadors of the bank and the exterior architects of the present proud edifice of all the banking institutions. The Shyam School teaches how to care and empathize with the retirees. In fact, FedCare, we know it, we have enjoyed it. FedCare, insurance for the retirees, is implemented years back as a pioneering institute, a pioneering model of healthcare attitude from the management to the retirees in Federal Bank. And it is truly the forerunner of the present IBA medical insurance. But when IBA imitated his scheme or our scheme of medical insurance, IBA and others, including UFBU, involved in the process, dropped the most glittering part of such a wonderful scheme, the 70% subsidy of the bank of base premium by the banks, entirely defacing and disfiguring the charming profile of a medical insurance policy, which we have enjoyed, we have seen, the Indian banking sector has seen through the FedCare. Federal Bank never, I would like to with such a line share subsidizing to the retirees' medical insurance, Federal Bank never went down on its course, on its prosperity, but flourished even beyond the expected lines and targeted plans due to the strong prayers and best wishes from the ever grateful federal retirees. I call upon all the CEOs of all banks in India, UFBU, IBA, Government of India, Finance Ministry, to emulate this noble lesson of Shyam Srinivasan model seen in Federal Bank to get more and more prosperity to their organizations. May I wish and hope Federal Bank to have a successor to him who will definitely follow his footsteps more vigorously and passionately and empathetically, carrying the federal retirees and show a new golden path to all other CEOs of both public and private sector banks with many more pro-retirees plans. On behalf of the Kerala State Committee of AIB Park, I wish the retirees friendly management guru, Sri Shyam Srinivasan sir, all the best in his post-federal days. Wishing this 29th conference all the success on behalf of the AIB Park. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tothom sir, especially for our demands on various counts. One announcement, if there is anybody to yet register, please register yourself at the counter.
We grow older chronologically, but we remain youth mentally and emotionally, and we grow wiser every year. So, now it's time to honor the wisest of the retired, the super senior federals who have become octogenarians since our last conference in 2023. There are 8 such super senior federals and 10 family pensioners of late federals who have successfully entered their 80s. Out of the 8 octogenarian federals, 4 are physically present here, and out of the 10 family pensioners, 1 is present. I request the honoring committee officials to accompany our super senior federals present here to the dais one by one. They'll be honored by our central leaders. I invite Sri Nicholas Abraham, born on March 10, 1944 at Kanjirapalli in Kottayam district. He retired on March 30, 2004 as senior manager and now settled at Kadavantra, Ernakulam. Next, Sri Krishnan V.S., born on May 26, 1944 at Tripunithura in Ernakulam district. He retired on May 31, 2004 as manager and settled at Nagarkovil.
They are same.
Next, Sri Gopalakrishnan K, born on May 31st, 1944 at Pulluvari in Ernakulam district. He retired on May 31st, 2004 as Assistant General Manager and now settled at Todupuzha. He is also a very good farmer. Next, Sri George PM, born on June 12, 1944 at Trikkudithanam in Kottayam district. He retired on June 30, 2004 as Chief Manager. Now he is settled at Idappalli. Next, Srimati Radhamani Amma, wife of late Tangappan Pillai, who expired on March 10, 2018. Srimati Radhamani Amma was born on March 1st, 1942 and settled at East Kadungalur, ALUVA.
Thank you, thank you. The remaining 13 members will be honored at their respective area meetings. They are Sri Varghese Ji, PF number 260, who was born on 26th September 1943 and retired on 30th September 2003 as Assistant Manager. He is now settled at Pathanamthitta. Next is Wilfred Hazel Rudolph, PF number 2368, was born on 29/10/1943 and retired as manager on 31/10/2003. He is now settled at Trichy. Next is Sri Ramachandran MS, PF 876, was born on 5/3/1944 and retired as manager on 31/3/2004. He is now settled at Chennai. Next is Matthew PG, PF number 552, was born on 2/6/1944 and retired as senior manager on 30th June 2004. He is now settled at Tiruvalla. Next is Srimati Leela Selvam. She is a family pensioner, wife of late Selvam Pilla, who was born on 8/3/1943. Late Selvam Pilla, PF number 86, expired on 29th April 2009. They are settled at Vellore, Tamil Nadu. Next is Srimati Lily Joni. She is also a family pensioner, wife of late Joni AK, was born on 24th May 1943. Late Joni AK, PF number 50, expired on 11th June 2006. They are settled at East Fort, Thrissur. Next, Srimati Cicely Lukachan, wife of late Lukachan Vijay, was born on 17th November 1943. Late Lukachan Vijay, PF number 503, expired on 9th May 2014. She is from Vazhakulam, Ernakulam district. Next is Srimati Chandrika Rajan, wife of late Rajan K, was born on 16th February 1944. K.C. Rajan. Late Rajan K.C., PF number 41, expired on 10th January 1986. They are settled at Vaitila, Ernakulam. Next, Srimati Kalyani Kuti Amma, wife of late Shivashankara Menon N.S., was born on 18th March 1939. Late Shivashankara Menon, PF number 112, expired on 3rd August 2014. They are from Kodungalur. Next is Srimati Umadevi N, wife of late Narayanan Nambudiri R, was born on 18th March 1941. Late Narayanan Nambudiri, PF number 5, expired on 19th April 2006. They are from Angamali. Next is Srimati Mariamma PG, wife of late Abraham KM, was born on 28th July 1941. Late Abraham KM, PF 215, expired on 15th January 2008. She is from Rani, Pathanamthitta. Next is Srimati Lilia Kuriakos, wife of late Kuriakos MJ, was born on 25th May 1942. Late Kuriakos, PF number 83, expired on 20th January 2020. She is from Muvatupura. And the last, Srimati Mary George, wife of late George PC, who expired on 11th April 2008. She is born on 17th June 1937 and settled at ALUVA. They will be honored in their respective area meetings. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Now, I invite Sri Bhasi PK, who has been coordinating the activities of the organizing committee of this conference as the general convener for the best conduct of the conference, for vote of thanks.
Respected President, General Secretary, all the dignitaries who addressed the meeting, various functionaries of FBROF, and my dear members of our great organization who are attending the 29th AGM physically as well as online. Now we are the fag end of the inaugural session and will be continuing the business session. I am privileged to stand before you to express our sincere gratitude to you all on behalf of the organizing committee. Our conference was inaugurated by Sri Shyam Srinivasan, MD and CEO of our beloved bank. He was kind enough to accept our invitation and spare time from his busiest schedule to inaugurate the conference and grace the occasion. Your insights today will definitely fuel our journey ahead. Sri Shyam sir, on behalf of FBROF and organizing committee, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to you. We are also lucky to hear the latest updates on the issues that we are facing today from the tallest leaders of our parent organization, AIB Park. They are none other than Comrade K.V. Acharya, National President, and Comrade Suprita Sarkar, National General Secretary. Their words were enlightened us and really worthwhile. We owe a great deal of gratitude to them, and on behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a hearty vote of thanks to our great leaders, Sri Acharya and Suprita Sarkar. We are honored to have had Sri P.R. Shrimit, the young and dynamic General Secretary of Federal Bank Officers Association and Senior Vice President of IBOC, grace us with his presence. He graciously accepted our invitation and launched the new FBROF website and Facebook pages. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend our Sincere thanks to Shrimit for his invaluable contribution to the event. Sri Tom Thomas sir, President IPAR Kerala State and our former President has offered his felicitation. His constant encouragement is a driving force behind our successful events. On behalf of the committee, I express my gratitude to extend our vote of thanks to Sri Tom sir. We formed various committees for the smooth accomplishment of the conference. As the AGM is conducting in hybrid mode, the most important task was carried out by the Technical Support Committee led by the convener Sri V.O. Papachan. The wholehearted cooperation of the staff from FISAT in this regard is hereby acknowledged with thanks. We owe a great deal of gratitude to the members of Technical Support Committee led by Sri V.O. Papachan. The efforts taken by the program committee under the leadership of Srimati Girija C. George, who is also overseeing committee member of ALUVA area, and Sri Abdul Rashid, ALUVA help desk convener and also acting area secretary of ALUVA area, are also commendable. Actually, Abdul Rashid has played a double role in his function as area secretary and the help desk convener. The registration committee led by Sri Matai Kepol, the reception committee led by Sri C.P. Mohandas, food committee led by A.T. Avarasan, publicity committee led by Sri Shibukumar N. are all taken sincere efforts for the accomplishment of the event. The special skill of comparing by Smith P.S. helped a lot for the smooth and systematic conduct of the event. Ms. Archa, our staff and daughter of our member, Sri A.R. Vijayan, also joined us to support in our proceedings. On behalf of the organizing committee, I express a special thanks to and grateful to you all. Then, our President Sri K.T. Thomachan and General Secretary Sri Paul Mundadan. We owe a great deal of gratitude to these two leaders. From the very beginning, Sri Thomachan sir's meticulous attention in detailing the functions and duties of the committee has been invaluable. His dedication has ensured our success in fulfilling our responsibilities. Thank you doesn't seem enough, but I mean it sincerely. You are all aware, our General Secretary, Mr. Paul Mundadan, is well versed in computer and IT related aspects. His support and guidance have helped us a lot in conduct of the event in hybrid model and also designing our website and Facebook page. His leadership and support have been instrumental to the committee's success. On behalf of the committee, I extend our sincere gratitude and thanks to Sri Paul Mundadan. We cannot forget the leadership support and involvement of the office bearers in ALUVA, Sri Rajnarayanan VM, Sri Amdul Nasser MB, Sri Paul Jose Matthew, Sri A. Mohammed, Sri Mohammed Ansari, Sri George Mathekal, and the Ernakulam Zonal Secretary, Sri Raju George. Their help and support are also worth mentioning. On behalf of the committee, I extend our sincere thanks to them all. I also express my gratitude to Sri Venkateswaran, who is also acting as our Office Secretary of FBROF, for all his help in our activities. We are honored to have a distinguished group of senior members and esteemed veterans for gracing us with their presence today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend our sincere gratitude to them all. Last but not least, the success of this conference succeeds with a strong membership participation, and we are thrilled to see such a strong turnout. Both online and in person, attendance has been fantastic, and we are especially grateful for the presence of leaders from our parent organization also. On behalf of the organizing committee, I express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all those who are attending the meeting physically as well as online. On concluding my duty, once again, express a big thanks to you all. Thank you all.
With that, we come to the end of the inaugural session. The business session will continue. This is Ms. Archa and Smith signing off. We feel privileged to be the Masters of Ceremony of this conference. Thank you all so much.